Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the noise, get you the essential insights.
That's right.
And today, we're plunging into a really vital segment of healthcare technology. It's one that's, well, quietly transforming lives, but also showing some pretty explosive growth.
Absolutely. We're talking about the global glucose monitoring system market.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And look, this isn't just about managing diabetes, though that's obviously key. It feels like part of a bigger shift, towards proactive health, real-time insights.
And a future where managing your health is just much more personalized.
Right. So our mission today, give you a clear, concise rundown of this field. It's moving fast.
And we're basing this on a pretty comprehensive market outlook report from Cognitive Market Research.
Okay, so let's get into the numbers first, because they really set the stage here.
They really do. And what's truly captivating here isn't just the current size, which is already substantial, but the sheer acceleration we're seeing.
Acceleration, okay.
Yeah, think about it. Just a few years back, 2021, this market was valued at $10.671 billion.
Which is already big.
Right. But the projections, well, they're kind of staggering. It's expected to jump to nearly $15 billion. That's $14.715 billion by 2025.
So like a 40% jump in just a few years?
Exactly. And then it's projected to more than double that figure. They're forecasting almost $27.98 billion to be precise by 2033.
Wow. Okay, that's not just steady growth.
No, definitely not. It's the sustained, powerful expansion. We're looking at an overall compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 8.36%.
Over more than a decade, from 2021 to 2033.
That's right. It really signals, I think, a fundamental shift happening in healthcare.
Okay, so we're definitely not just seeing a minor trend here. This feels like a major redefinition of how we monitor, how we manage a really critical aspect of health.
To millions of people.
Absolutely. So what's driving this? What are the core forces fueling this robust, almost unbelievable expansion?
Yeah, that's the key question. The report really highlights four main drivers, and they sort of tell a story, a story of medical need meeting technological evolution.
Okay, lay them out for us.
First, and maybe the most straightforward, is simply the rising prevalence of diabetes worldwide.
Right. We hear about this all the time.
We do. It's an escalating global health issue. More and more people are being diagnosed every year, and that just creates this urgent foundational demand for effective monitoring.
Makes perfect sense. More people needing to manage blood sugar means more need for the tools?
Exactly. Tools that help them do it effectively and ideally, without disrupting their daily lives too much.
That's a sobering reality, the rise in diabetes,
Yeah.
but it absolutely highlights why these systems are so vital. So the demand is definitely there. What about the tech itself? How's that playing into this growth picture?
Good point. That brings us neatly to the second driver, the increasing adoption of continuous glucose monitoring systems, CGMs.
CGMs, right? This feels like the big leap forward.
It really is. This is where the innovation shines. Think about traditional meters. They give you a snapshot, right? A single reading at one moment.
Like checking the time.
Kind of, yeah. But CGM systems, they offer a continuous real-time stream of data, 24/7.
So you can see the trends.
Precisely. See trends, predict highs and lows, make much more informed decisions. It's like moving from a single photograph to a full motion video of your glucose level.
That's a great analogy.
And that shift, it's a total game changer for patient management, for quality of life. Patients can often avoid finger pricks, get a clearer picture of how diet, exercise, medication affects them almost instantly.
That real-time feedback must be incredibly empowering, giving people so much more control, more understanding.
Definitely.
Okay, so we have the growing need, we have this game-changing tech. Are there like broader systemic factors helping this along too?
Absolutely. Driver number 3, supportive government initiatives. This is playing a bigger role now. Well, governments around the world are waking up to the huge long-term burden of chronic diseases like diabetes, the costs, the impact on people's lives.
Yeah, the healthcare costs alone must be enormous.
Exactly. So they're stepping in more. Awareness campaigns, sometimes subsidies, maybe better insurance coverage for these advanced devices.
Okay, so making them more accessible.
Right. These initiatives aren't just about treating illness after the fact. They're trying to promote better health management overall, incentivize prevention, maybe reduce those future healthcare costs. It creates a much more favorable environment for these technologies to be developed and, crucially, adopted.
Got it. And it feels like all of this might be leading towards a change in how we as individuals approach health. What's the final piece?
That's the fourth driver.
Yeah.
And it's becoming increasingly influential, the growing consumer preference for digital health solutions.
Okay, tell me more about that.
We're just in an era where people expect to be more proactive about their health, right? They want data, they want it easily accessible, maybe on their smartphone.
Integrated into their lives.
Yes, and they want tech that empowers them to optimize their wellness, not just manage an illness. We see it with wearables, health apps, smart devices everywhere.
And glucose monitoring fits right into that trend.
Perfectly. It's about personal empowerment, getting convenient, actionable health insights. It all converges.
It really does feel like a convergence. You've got the critical need, the cutting-edge tech, supportive policies, and this profound shift in personal health attitudes. It all clicks.
Exactly.
Okay, let's zoom out then. Look at the global map. Where is this growth actually happening? Which regions are leading the charge, and where is the really explosive growth occurring?
Right. Let's break down the geography. Starting with the established leader, North America, it continues to be the largest piece of the pie.
Still the biggest player.
Definitely. An undeniable powerhouse. Its market size is expected to more than double between 2021 and 2033, reaching almost $11 billion. $10.797 billion.
Wow, and that's mainly the U.S. driving that.
A huge portion, yes. The U.S. alone is projected to hit about $8.5 billion by 2033. High healthcare spending, early adoption of advanced devices, that all plays a role.
But it's not just the U.S., right?
No, not at all. Canada's showing really strong growth, too, a CAGR of over 9%, expected to reach about $1.4 billion. And Mexico's expanding significantly as well, around 8.5% CAGR, touching $848 million.
So reflecting wider awareness and access across the continent.
Precisely. It's a mature market, yes, but one that's still innovating and expanding its reach significantly.
Okay, so North America,
Yeah.
the established giant, still growing strong. What about across the Atlantic? How's Europe fitting into this picture?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Europe is also a really formidable market, and it's expanding significantly, too.
Comparable growth to North America.
Pretty close, actually. Projected to more than double its market value by 2033 as well, hitting around $7.8 billion, $7.775 billion, with a CAGR just under 8%, 7.94.
And who are the key players there?
Well, you've got the big economies like Germany, projected around $1.1 billion. France shows particularly strong growth, actually maybe hitting $1.14 billion with an 8.7% CAGR.
Interesting about France.
Yeah. And then Italy, Spain, Russia, all showing steady expansion too. But what's quite notable in Europe, similar in a way to North America, is the rest of Europe category.
The other countries combined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That group is actually showing the highest regional growth rate, nearly 9.5% CAGR.
What does that tell you?
It suggests, a really widespread adoption of connected healthcare tech. It's not just concentrated in the biggest nations, it's spreading across diverse, often quite digitally savvy economies.
That's a great insight. Technology spreading out. Okay, but you mentioned momentum earlier. It sounds like the real story of momentum, maybe the region emerging as a future powerhouse, could be Asia-Pacific. Is that right?
Asia-Pacific is definitely the region to watch for sheer momentum and future scale. Absolutely.
Okay. What are the numbers looking like there?
It's projected for an impressive transformation. Starting at around $2 billion in 2021, it's expected to nearly triple, reaching over $5.6 billion by 2033.
Tripling. Wow.
Yeah, with a really strong CAGR of 9.25%. This region is a powerhouse in the making. Huge populations, rapidly developing healthcare infrastructure.
Which countries are leading that charge?
China's the leader in terms of market value, projected around $1.7 billion, $1.688 billion. Japan follows, expected to cross the $1 billion mark, $1.038 billion.
Okay.
But if we're talking pure acceleration, India is surging. It has one of the fastest growth rates globally among the major countries, over 10% CAGR. Expected to hit around $846 million.
India really stepping up.
Definitely. And it doesn't stop there. South Korea, Australia, Singapore, countries across Southeast Asia, Taiwan, they're all showing healthy, often double-digit growth rates.
It's a broad-based growth across the region.
Very broad. And again, just like in Europe, that rest of APAC's category, it stands out with exceptional growth, over 11% CAGR.
What's driving that, do you think? Broader healthcare access?
That's part of it. Broader access, rising incomes, but also, critically, a rapidly increasing prevalence of diabetes across these hugely diverse populations. It's a major health challenge they're now tackling with new tech.
Okay, Asia-Pacific is clearly on a trajectory to really reshape this market.
Right.
But this isn't just happening in North America, Europe, and Asia, right? The shift feels global. What about, say, South America and the Middle East?
That's an important point. This expansion is truly global. Let's take South America first.
Yep.
It's projected to see its market value almost triple, too, from around $736 million in 2021 to over $2.098 billion by 2033. That's a strong CAGR, 9.26%.
Very strong. Who leads there?
Brazil's a significant leader, projected around $650 million, but Argentina is growing very quickly too, nearly 10% CAGR, heading towards $287 million. And you see widespread adoption in Colombia, Peru, Chile as well. The rest of South America also shows strong growth.
Though mirroring the trends elsewhere. And the Middle East.
Similar story, though, maybe starting from a slightly smaller base,
Right.
growing from around $394 million to nearly $900 million, $895 million by 2033. The CAGR there is a bit lower, 6.85%, but still solid growth.
Which countries stand out?
Saudi Arabia leads, projected at $324 million. Then Turkey, around $101 million. The UAE, close to $96 million. Egypt, around $83 million.
And what's driving it there? Similar factors.
It seems to reflect increasing government investment in healthcare technologies, a growing focus on managing chronic diseases. Lifestyle changes are also leading to higher diabetes rates in many of these nations, unfortunately driving the need.
Right. Those are compelling numbers for South America and the Middle East, showing this really is a worldwide movement. But now, here's where the report gets really fascinating and maybe surprising for a lot of people listening. The data points to Africa as the fastest growing region globally in this market.
Yes, that's probably the most eye-catching growth figure in the entire report.
Tell us about that incredible trajectory.
Okay, so Africa is definitely a story of immense potential and maybe rapid catch-up. Its market is projected to just skyrocket.
Skyrocket.
Yeah, expanding from a relatively small base, about $213 million in 2021, to nearly quadruple its value, hitting around $789 million by 2033.
Quadruple. Wow. And the growth rate.
This is the kicker. An astounding CAGR of 12.17%, over 12% annually for more than a decade.
That's incredible. That's significantly higher than any other region.
It is. This isn't just growth, it feels like an explosion of emerging opportunity.
Which countries are leading that African charge?
Nigeria and South Africa are both showing very strong growth, around 11.8% CAGR each. But what's even more remarkable...
Let me guess. The rest of Africa.
You got it. That category, all the other nations combined, achieves the highest growth rate anywhere in the world. Over 12.5% CAGR, 12.52%.
That's truly amazing. What does that signify?
Well, it really showcases the immense potential in what are often seen as underserved healthcare systems, but systems that are clearly developing rapidly.
And maybe adopting new tech quickly.
That seems likely. It suggests many African nations might be leapfrogging older, more traditional healthcare models and infrastructures. They could be going straight to adopting newer, more efficient digital and continuous monitoring solutions.
Bypassing some of the intermediate steps we saw elsewhere.
Potentially, yes. It paints a very dynamic picture of health technology reaching new frontiers, finding fertile ground where the need is high and the infrastructure is perhaps more flexible to adopt the latest innovations.
That is an extraordinary insight. It really reveals these unique dynamics playing out differently across the globe. Okay. What does this all mean?
Yeah, let's synthesize.
We've seen pretty clearly that the global glucose monitoring system market is on this undeniable, really powerful growth path.
Absolutely.
It's powered by some undeniable forces. The rising burden of diabetes globally, that's number one.
Can't ignore that.
Then there's the increasing penetration of these sophisticated wearable, continuous monitoring technologies, the CGMs we talked about.
The tech leaped forward.
And finally, this rapid adoption we're seeing everywhere in developed regions, sure, but also really taking off in emerging regions too.
Exactly. So looking ahead, North America and Europe, they'll clearly remain core markets. They'll keep innovating, keep expanding.
The established players.
Right. Then Asia Pacific. That's really emerging as a powerhouse for both scale, given the population, and innovation.
Driving huge volume.
Definitely. And then, as we just discussed, Africa looks set to lead in terms of growth momentum. That opens up entirely new opportunities, not just for healthcare tech providers, but much more importantly for patients right across the globe.
It really feels like this isn't just about market numbers or company profits. It's a global shift towards more accessible, more proactive health management for everyone.
That's the bigger picture, I think.
And that brings us perfectly to our final thought for you, our listener, to take away today. This whole deep dive, it's really highlighted a significant shift, hasn't it? Glucose monitoring systems seem to be moving beyond being just specialized medical tools.
Yeah. Yeah, becoming more like accessible personal health devices, increasingly integrated into just daily life.
Right. So here's the question we want to leave you with to ponder.
Okay.
As this shift really takes hold globally, this move from, reactive treatment after a problem occurs towards proactive, personalized health management, how might that fundamentally redefine our relationship with our own well-being?
That's a deep question.
Think about it. The implications aren't just for people directly managing a condition like diabetes.
Hmm.
What about for everyone who's looking to understand their body better, optimize their health, take more control over their personal health journey?
Yeah. What new possibilities does that future hold? Or maybe what new challenges might arise as we get all this data?
Exactly.
That's
Something for you to think about.